Good evening. Good Monday evening, everybody. Tonight, I wanted to pop on and talk about the art of the executive job search. Today's modern executive search is a lot more nuanced than it once was. It's more strategic than a traditional standard job hunt. And so I want to go over the most critical elements of an modern executive job search. And I would love to get the glare out of my glasses. Let's see this light ring. Uh, but I guess it's not to be. Um, the first um, element of the modern executive job search is to be very clear about your value proposition. Now, that sounds easier said than done, but I can't tell you how many people will start and launch into their experience. I've done this for many years, and I'm even guilty. I have to go scrub my documents to say I have 25 years of experience, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Not the point. Employers want to know what can you do for them. That's the most important thing. Not everywhere you've been and everything you've done and everybody you've been with. What is your value proposition? Define what makes you valuable, first of all, um, in this particular context, to this particular company, to this particular hiring manager, in this particular role. What makes you unique? Um, and how you lead. Highlight your expertise, your industry impact, your leadership style, and your key achievements. You don't have to focus as much on the length as much more so the impact, right? That's what's most important. Develop a compelling executive brand that aligns with your target roles. So let your reputation walk into the room before you do. That's ideal. So, first is to have clarity. You have clarity on your value proposition. Once you're clear, practice communicating that clearly, and that will be extremely important. Second is table stakes. Have a strong executive resume and LinkedIn profile. Um, these are table stakes. If you need help, reach out. I can help you. I'm not saying that though, just because that is one of the services that I provide. I'm saying that because it is your ticket to the party. Your resume should be achievement driven, emphasizing leadership impact, revenue growth, transformations led, strategic initiatives, not just a laundry list of places and spaces and time and tenure. Your LinkedIn profile is a marketing document, a marketing portfolio, and it should showcase your thought leadership, endorsements, and an engaging summary that aligns with your goals. So it's a little bit of show and tell on there, and it can be creative. It should be creative. So, second, a strong executive resume and LinkedIn profile. If you don't have those, reach out. I can help you. Third is leverage your network. Warren Buffett says your network is your net worth. You need to build that net before you need it. You don't want to jump out of a plane and start to build the net that's going to catch you after you've jumped in an emergency. You want to build it before you need it. So many people don't understand that, and I wish I could bang the tables and yell from a bully horn to people to let them know how important this is. So, 80% of executive roles are filled through networking. And you don't want to call people up and say, "Hey, I haven't spoken to you in 10 years. Can you help me find a job? Can you hook me up? Can you let me know what's going on? Can you introduce me to people in your network? Can you do all of these things for me when I clearly haven't valued our relationship enough to stay connected?" Don't do that. You might be able to pull that off now and again. There may be people that you can say, "Oh, you haven't left my heart or my thoughts or whatever." We all know that we have people that we haven't spoken to in a long time. That doesn't mean that they're not cherished. Those relationships aren't cherished, but in mass, doesn't really happen. And so you really need to sow into those relationships and maintain them and cherish them before you need to ask somebody for something. So, engage with former colleagues, mentors, board members, executive recruiters, and industry peers. And industry peers, I said peers. Industry peers. Let me tell you something. As an executive recruiter myself, even I don't want to feel like I'm in some transactional relationship. Don't only call me when you're looking for something. Maybe you could be helpful to me. Um, have an exchange of value. I think so many people misunderstand how executive recruiters work, so they feel like, well, you should you should help me. It's not really how it works. We work with employers to help them identify candidates for their roles. We don't necessarily help candidates find a job. And it may be nuanced, but there's a difference. And understanding that will inform how you relate to executive recruiters and others in your network. So please try to understand how that works. Um, that being said, it's very helpful to have several executive recruiters in your network, people who could connect you with opportunities that might be appropriate. And I will tell you, out of all of the roles that I've worked on in 2024, none of them were posted. None of them. So you really do want to tap in to an executive recruiter or four to see what they've got going on. Join exclusive leadership networks. So industry, functional, um, interest groups, things like that. So the example here is National Association of Corporate Directors, NACD, is a great one for current board members. Chief is a good network for executive women and many LinkedIn groups that are, industry focused, company focused. There are also alumni groups from your alma mater. So third, leverage your network. I cannot emphasize that. I cannot overemphasize that. I cannot emphasize that too much. Extremely, extremely important. Four, engaging executive recruiters and search firms. I touched on that a little bit in terms in earlier when we were talking about the network, but absolutely connect with retained executive search firms that specialize in your industry. My firm is a global firm with multiple industry and functional practices. So, what does that mean? I'm a partner in the life science and healthcare practice groups. I'm also a nonprofit diversity CEO and board. If you are a manufacturing executive or luxury retail, for example, I might not have many opportunities for you. I could connect you with my colleagues in those practice groups. I can keep my eyes open, but it's better for you to connect with a partner in that practice group. So you should know who you're talking to. That doesn't mean that I don't talk to people in multiple industries. I do, but you should know who you're talking to. That will inform the conversation. Um, Maintain relationships with both retained and contingency recruiters. So I am a retained executive recruiter, which means a company will engage me to work on a role exclusively. But there are some executive recruiters, and I have worked as a contingency recruiter in my career before, that will engage a firm or a recruiter on a uh, contingency basis, which means they're paid a success fee. They're paid once they fill the role. Contingency recruiters could have interesting opportunities as well. Be proactive in reaching out, but understand, like I said, that they work for the companies that are paying them, not for the candidate. 5, build thought leadership. It helps to build your brand. It helps to build your network. It helps for people to give people a sense of how you think, what you value. Um, so it's really helpful. I think some leaders are starting to understand that, and some are doing it better than others, but it is important. Publish articles, engage in industry panels, participate in speaking opportunities, podcasts, demonstrate your expertise on LinkedIn and trade publications and at conferences. Build your thought leadership. Let people know how you think, what you're thinking about. Um, it's one thing to say that you're a strategic thinker, it's another thing to be able to demonstrate that. 6, use a strategic approach to applications. I've seen so many job seekers at various levels say, I have submitted hundreds of applications and I've only heard back from X number. Um, to me, that doesn't say strategic. So I understand that it's hard. It's a very difficult economic environment. And people may feel that in order to land something that you need to be more active and apply more places. That doesn't necessarily translate into having more success. So for an executive level, modern day executive level job search, your time is probably better spent networking than mass applying. Focus on targeted, high impact opportunities. Spend time crafting quality applications for roles that are really good fits and connecting with people who are well positioned to assist you um, and connect you with opportunities that may not be advertised, conversations with people who can create opportunities for you rather than mass applying. Work through organizational board members, investors, executives within organizations to gain introductions. That's a better use of your time than just clicking apply on LinkedIn or through an organization's career site blindly. Tailor applications to each opportunity, showing alignment with the needs. That sort of takes us back to understanding the value proposition, which is number one and critical. To reiterate, number 6, use a strategic approach to applications. Number 7, executive interview preparation. Um, Executive interviews are extremely behavioral, maybe a little bit less predictable than some of the more junior interviews that are a bit more formulaic. To prepare for behavioral and strategic interviews, executive interviews, you need to have more conversations. You need to talk to people. You need to who will be assessing you. Um, Again, it's another service that I offer, mock interviews. I am certified in behavioral interview techniques and can customize an interview process to help you practice. Again, not why I'm saying it's important. I created the service because it is important. I'm not saying it's important because I have the service. Um, but it is important to prepare. Develop compelling C-suite storytelling skills. It's a must. You have to tell the story of what, when, why, how, and so what. Um, you can use the STAR method. That sounds a little formulaic, but you get the point. You need some context, which is the situation, the task, the approach, the result, all of that needs to be in there, but just not in a robotic way. Um, you want to showcase again how you think, how you approach a problem, how you behave, how you lead, and what the results are. And get ready for having these conversations with board members, with investors, with the C-suite. Multiple conversations from multiple perspectives, multiple stakeholders. That's what it is. Um, Again, prepare for a set, a number of of stakeholder interviews, executive interviews, where people are going to be assessing how you think, how you lead, the impact that you have. Um, 8 is negotiating compensation and offer terms. So you need to understand your worth. As an executive, the expectation is you do understand your value and you have a sense of what the market will bear for your skills. um, and what an executive compensation package would look like for somebody at your level and in your industry. So what is the salary? What are the bonuses? What does equity look like? What are competitive benefit packages look like? And also start thinking beyond salary. What is it going to take to make you happy, to make you productive, to ensure your success, to make sure that you are fulfilled long term? Think about that and then maybe present some of those options um, to your potential employer once you get to the point where you both agree that it could be a good fit. So you can negotiate equity, signing bonuses. You can negotiate severance on the way in. I'm sure many of you know that, some may not. The best time to negotiate severance is when you start. Relocation, long term incentives, and other things, pr- uh, professional development, things like that. If that is a challenge, absolutely engage a career coach or compensation consultant if necessary. Um, that's something that I can help with, although depending on how much help you need, would probably refer you to someone who is an expert in those things. And I know some very good coaches. Uh, Again, you want to be discreet, especially if you're currently employed. You don't want to run afoul of any non-compete agreements or um, disclose any proprietary information while you're searching. I think that goes without saying. Um, you know, Corporations are typically a pyramid. Oh, I don't want to do that. A pyramid looks like, which means there are fewer opportunities at the top. And so it takes patience and it takes time to conduct an executive search. They're taking longer. Now, once there's an opening, if you engage an executive recruiter on the corporate side, right? We fill our searches. We take pride in filling our searches relatively quickly. But If you're on the candidate side and you're looking for an opening and you're looking for that right fit, it could take 3 to 9 months. It could take a year. Is plan for it to take long. Do what needs to be done for you to secure, stabilize so that you have that much time to make a good decision. And, that requires some creativity depending on the situation you're in, especially if you are surprised and you have to embark upon a search, but you weren't prepared to do that. Then I would definitely say reach out. I can help you create a strategic plan and maybe shorten the timeline. It doesn't mean it will be short, but it will be shortened because at least you will have a plan and you will know what to do and you won't spend a couple months fumbling. So, if you need help developing a custom job search strategy based on your industry and targeted roles, please reach out. And I realize now I have an appointment that I need to hop to because I have some other things that I need to do. Um, but it's always a pleasure. Here, you know how to reach me at the very least, AndreaLHenderson.com. And or you can leave your questions in the comments and I will respond when I come back. Have a wonderful evening, an even better week, a great month, and a fantastic year. Talk soon.